as well. Welcome to NBA Courtside, presented by DoorDash. Tonight, it's the top team in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, taking on the team with the fourth best record in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks. I mentioned the high-level scoring in this ball game. Shea leading the NBA in scoring. Damian Lillard just outside the top 10, and Giannis Antetokounmpo averaging 30 points per contest as well. We welcome you inside Fiserv Forum alongside Corey Alexander. I'm Michael Grady. Monica McNutt joins us as well. Let's talk about Oklahoma City. I mentioned the high-level scoring they get from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Elite scorer. Nobody can really stop him.
They can't. Shea has been the most unstoppable offensive force throughout this season. When you consider the 33 points per game, coming off of a 48-point performance in a very physical matchup last night against the Detroit Pistons, but 13.7 points per game in the paint for a guard is unheard of. You look at the 30-point games, the 40-point games, the 50-point games, but more importantly, what he does on the defensive end is a catalyst for this team. When your best player gets after it defensively, that allows everyone else to get on board, and they have been the best defensive team in the league this season.
No doubt about it. He's a two-way player, great offensively, great defensively. This is the best defense in the NBA, and they have to contend with Giannis Antetokounmpo tonight.
They absolutely do, and it's going to be a team effort. When you're talking about trying to slow down Giannis, you have to build the wall in transition, not allow him to see a clean basket, force him to get rid of the basketball, be more of a facilitator than a playmaker at the rim. When you have multiple defensive eyes guarding Giannis, oftentimes it will deter him from trying to attack downhill, where, of course, he is the best at scoring points in the paint over this season. However, the Thunder's defense is the best in stopping points in the paint. So one of those two is going to have to give to an end today.
Yeah, OKC has Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren at their disposal tonight to contend with Giannis in the paint. He averages 20 points in the paint alone this season. So, well, let's talk about Milwaukee and what they have to do with Giannis. Giannis last night in their game against Indiana was terrific in that ball game.
He absolutely was. And Doc Rivers told us that they were not going to lose that game. And he was able to get away with having 6 turnovers last night against Indiana. He will not be able to get away with that tonight, simply because the Oklahoma City Thunder are the best in the NBA at forcing turnovers and also turning those turnovers into points on the other end. 22 points per game off turnovers for the Thunder.
Bucks 10 games over 500 this season. For more on Milwaukee, let's send it over to Monica McNutt.
Thanks, Grady. There is a sentiment within the Milwaukee organization that Damian Lillard still can win a series and Giannis Antetokounmpo can do the same. So even though they're sitting at 4th in the Eastern Conference and not a ton of fanfare, this group believes that if they can play their best basketball when it matters most down the season, they don't have to worry. They don't think the best 2 teams in the East are that far ahead of them. And they believe that their combination of youth and experienced veterans gives them an advantage when games go to 7-game series. This year, they feel like they are the dark horse and not the hunted horse. And that's new but comfortable territory for 2 guys that were part of the top 75 team in Antetokounmpo and Lillard.
All right, we're ready for this matchup. Milwaukee at home against OKC. Both teams on the back end of a back-to-back. This matchup coming up, but first we'll send it back to the studio. Malika Perk after this timeout.
10 toes in when we standing on business.
That's DA.
Oh my goodness. That's filthy, folks.
That's GA. Drills the step back 3.
Giannis full control. The slam.
Giannis explodes to the basket.
NBA Courtside on ESPN is presented by Dash Pass, your door to all things basketball.
And we welcome you back to NBA Sunday, presented by State Farm. Tonight it's OKC, the Thunder here in Milwaukee, to take on the Bucks. Let's look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Dave & Buster's. We begin with visiting OKC. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, leading scorer in the NBA, alongside Cason Wallace in the backcourt. Then it's Kenrich Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Isaiah Hartenstein. No Lou Dort, no Jalen Williams for the Thunder. As for the Bucks, Damian Lillard, Taurean Prince, Kyle Kuzma, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez in the middle. Bucks 38-8 on the season. OKC 55-12, including a 23-1 mark against the Eastern Conference this season. They are number 1 defensively in opponent field goal percentage, number 1 in opponent three-point field goal percentage. The Bucks shoot well from 3, and they shoot well from the floor as well. So we have a battle of wills in this ball game.
We absolutely do, and we see a different change in the lineup for OKC. Kendrick Williams started for Chet Holmgren last night in Detroit. Now he's starting for Lou Dort. And so Kendrick Williams, of course, a very versatile piece, but as we talk with Mark Daigneault, a very integral piece of the culture that has been built by the Thunder.
Talk glowingly about Williams and what he brings to this team. And everybody has played a factor. This is a deep OKC roster. Everyone has contributed to their success this season. Meanwhile, Milwaukee hoping they're saving their best basketball for last. It'll be Chet Holmgren, Brooke Lopez on the center circle to jump it up. Our officials tonight, Carl Lane, the veteran Rodney Mott, and Suyash Mehta. And we are going to re-jump. We'll try it again.
A lot of pressure on these tossers, by the way.
Look at Chet. Chet is eager. And Milwaukee wins the opening tip, and we are underway. Michael Grady, Corey Alexander, Monica McNutt here at Pfizer Forum.